The South African Communist Party's 14th National Congress gets underway today.
Coming right after the ANC concluded its policy conference, the meeting comes at a time when the party's ties with its alliance partner are strained. The Congress is set to analyze the threats and weaknesses facing the National Democratic Revolution and it's to decide on its future course of action.
It's a very important Congress, and it's occurring at a difficult moment in South Africa's history. Clearly, there are deep concerns about the erosion of our democracy, the impatience that working class, poor people, middle class people feel. We're into a technical recession, and so the economy is not performing well. And we're battling with extraordinarily crisis levels of unemployment, poverty, inequality, and many poor communities are living in a sense of, without personal security and so on. So there are big social challenges. And then also there's no secret that our key alliance partner, the ANC, is going through a difficult time and is clearly quite divided in many respects.
As the communist comrades get together, following issues are set to dominate the discussions. Firstly, the alliance partner's position on President Jacob Zuma's leadership, as well as ANC succession debate. SACP's role in the tripartite alliance, deciding on the party leadership, as well as its stance on contesting the 2019 elections on its own. The members will also discuss the vanguard role that the South African Communist Party plays, and state capture is also likely to be a part of the conversation and debates.
Well, news are just in. Umkhonto Wesizwe Military Veterans Association has taken a stance to boycott SACP events as the alliance partner has showed support for the ban of President Jacob Zuma in its events, including this week's national conference. MKMVA says they cannot accept the SACP invite after they showed support for COSATU's ban of President Jacob Zuma. The veterans have released a statement saying the alliance partners traditionally do not prescribe in internal organizations matters like the leadership of the ANC, contrary to what both SACP and COSATU have pronounced about the ruling party's presidency. MKMVA says they hope the alliance will go back to its fundamentals that made it a success during the liberation struggle.
We are now joined on the phone line by Mr. Carl Niehaus, MKMVA NEC member, to elaborate more on this. A very good morning to you, sir, and thank you so much for joining us here on VUCA Africa. Let me just get your views on why has the MKMVA decided to take this turn against the South African Communist Party?
Well, good morning. The summary that you've given of our statement is quite a good one. We first of all would like to express our appreciation for the invitation from the SACP, but unfortunately, under the circumstances where the SACP does not seem to acknowledge the fundamentals of the foundation on which the tripartite alliance functions, and that is that one partner in the alliance does not interfere in the internal organizational matters of another partner, and especially not with the African National Congress, which, as Mr. Jeremy Cronin just before me has indicated, is the lead partner in the alliance. We felt that that kind of interference that has been taking place, both by the SACP and also by COSATU, in the instance of COSATU banning President Zuma from attending any of its meetings, and the SACP supporting that stance, and the SACP also not having invited President Zuma to their conference, we felt that it is time to take a stance on these issues. We do not want to put any unnecessary pressure on the tripartite alliance because we believe this alliance is extremely important. We also believe that it has played a major role in the liberation struggle in South Africa. So our position is more like a call to the South African Communist Party through this decision that we've taken not to attend. I wouldn't even want to call it a boycott. It is a message that we would like to deliver to the SACP that it's time for them to return to the fundamentals of the tripartite alliance, and we wish them all of the best for their conference. We really hope that they will have good deliberations, and we also hope that through those deliberations, they will revert from this errant route that they've taken and again abide by the basic principles and foundations on which the tripartite alliance has been built and on which it had functioned up to now so successfully.
And Mr. Niehaus, does the MKMVA has a comment regarding the SACP considering contesting in the 2019 elections on their own?
Well, I do not want to comment about that. Obviously, the SACP has to take their own decisions with regards to this, but obviously a decision to contest on their own in an upcoming election will have implications for the tripartite alliance, and I sincerely hope that the SACP will not take rash decisions and consider the implications of any decisions in that regard, and also with regards to the overall character and foundation of the tripartite alliance very carefully, because this will impact on their future, and it will also have an impact on the effectiveness of the alliance in the future.
Well, I do have another question for you before we let you go. Well, with the SACP actually trying to go further and maybe considering contesting in the next elections on their own, is there any action that can be taken by the South African Communist Party to rectify or restore this relationship between the MKMVA, the ANC and themselves?
Well, we've indicated that in our statement. It is to return to the fundamentals of the alliance, to accept that one tripartite alliance partner does not interfere in the organizational matters of another, to accept the leadership position of the African National Congress in the alliance, because the ANC is also the leader of socio-economic position in our society in South Africa, and to refrain from actions such as trying to prescribe to the African National Congress who our leadership should be, including our president, and also trying to prevent or ban the leader, the president of the African National Congress, from attending meetings of the alliance partners. Those are the basic steps, and we're not asking anything extraordinary. That has always been the situation inside the alliance, and we simply ask the SACP, as we have requested from COSATU, to continue to remain within that broad framework, because that framework has served us well, and we really hope that sanity and revolutionary understanding of what is required in South Africa will prevail also for the SACP at this important Congress that they are starting with today.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here on VUCA Africa. That was Mr. Carl Niehaus, MKMVA NEC member, elaborating on their stance, or decision rather, not to attend the SACP meeting which begins today.